Hi everyone, welcome back to the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm your host Angelina Amitabha. So yesterday we have already completed the chapter saying that the Amitabha Buddha, when he was a Bodhisattva, he made a vow. He asked his teacher for guidance, and he has completed his studies. So the Buddha, that means his teacher at the time, asked him to now share what are what are the favorable conditions. Okay, how does his Buddha world look like? How does Amitabha Buddha Pure Land look like? Okay, his Buddha world, because he has already achieved the highest learnings, he has already reached the ultimate truth, so he has established his own Buddha world. Okay, I've said earlier in my previous episodes that every single Buddha, the moment they have achieved their Buddhahood, they will create their own Buddha worlds. Okay, so let us look at this. Okay, so this is based on, this is the start of the sharing about the 48 vows of Amitabha Buddha. Okay, so for this episode, we are going to talk about the first two vows. Okay, two vows because they are interconnected with each other. Okay, so we read the stanzas first. Okay, so here 法达誓愿第六 this is the sixth chapter in the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. Okay, 法藏白言，威愿世尊大士听察. Okay, this part is about the Bodhisattva was telling his teacher, okay, Buddha, please listen to what I have to share about my vows. Okay? 我若证得无上菩提，成正觉已，所有一切众生以及阎摩罗伽三恶道中来生我刹，说我法化，习成阿耨多罗三藐三菩提，不复更多而去，得誓愿来作佛，不得誓愿不取，无上正觉。Okay, so this is the first two vows. Okay, in this vow, at the end of his sharing of the first two vows, he said, if I do not get this wish, okay, I do not fulfill this vow, I shall not attain supreme Buddhahood. Okay, but today we know Amitabha Buddha is already a Buddha. That means he has already fulfilled the vow. So we can safely assure that he has already attained Buddhahood. Okay, because his vows are also valid. He has already achieved these vows. Okay, what are the vows? He said that in his Buddha world, okay, when he established his Buddha world, his world will not have the lower realms of existence. Okay, there will not be hell, there will not be the hungry ghost realms, and there will also not be the animal realms. Okay, these three realms are the result of our karmic activities. Okay, the karma that brought us into these three are mostly of the tan chen chi, okay, greed, tan chen, hatred, chi, ignorance. Okay, that kind of utter stupidity. Okay, not knowing what is correct in this world and not knowing what is wrong to do in this world. So when there are such karmic reasons, then only there are such karmic um, consequences. Okay, when previously, if you have watched my previous episodes, I have also spoke about, there was this gentleman. Okay, I think it was in the Helsing's explanations as well. The Helsing's also, the talk is stalled, but I shall continue it later on. Okay, so in this one, the magistrate, okay, this human magistrate, every single night he will go down, being carried in sedan, okay, those sedan chairs of, the ancient Chinese kind of sedan chairs where there will be four people carrying the sedan, and then he will be transported to the underworld to become a judge. Okay, when he becomes a judge, the magistrate, right, he will just read out the sins of all the different people. Okay, when people die, they go to a court. Okay, when we die, we go to a particular court, and in this particular court, we will be shown a mirror. Okay, and this mirror will tell exactly every single thing that we have done in our lives, and there will be a scale to weigh between the good and the bad of things that we have done. Okay, especially weighing with our intentions as well. So when there is such a way and there is such a mirror, there is no legal representation for you in hell. It's a court, but you can't have a lawyer. No lawyer will be able to defend you other than your own karma. Okay? In fact, if let's say you have excellent karma, and if the sentence reading was not coinciding with your karma, one of the officers there will actually just tell the magistrate, oh, but magistrate, actually, you see, his merits are actually more than his bad karma, or vice versa. Okay, it can be either way. So the very important thing that you have to do is to make sure that during this lifetime, when you're still human and you're still capable, do good things. Okay, so in this situation, okay, when the magistrate, okay, he went to meet with one of the lords. He said, Lord, can we abolish that hell that punishes the adulterers? Okay, because for the realm of punishment for those who are adulterers, the male and the female will have some really painful kind of punishment. Okay, the male and female, they will be hugging iron pillars. Okay, and these iron pillars are not just iron pillars, they are flaming in fire. Okay, you just imagine your body is like being barbecued. Okay, so you are stuck, you are just like the barbecue stick that you're eating, you are hugging that pillow that you have no way of getting out from there. Okay, you hug the pillar that is burning hot, the iron pillar that is burning hot. Your skin gets torched, your meat gets fried. Okay, this is how bad the punishment is for those who commit adultery. Okay, so when that happened, he told the magistrate, he told his supervisor, can we abolish that? The supervisor just said, oh, okay, why not? You go to the hell and see for yourself, okay? Before we do any changes to it. You just go and take a look first. Okay, so he said, okay. And during that night, as usual, there are the sedan chairs. But when when the sedan chairs reached him, the little ghost that carries the little, I can call them ghosts. I'll just say that they are the officers, okay? The officers carrying his sedan chair actually told, we'll need to cover your eyes now, okay? It's just a normal procedure. And we will bring you to the hell for the punishment of those who commit adultery. Okay, I said, okay. So he covered his eyes, and then they brought him. Dun, 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 dun. They reached that hell where they punish those who commit adultery. And when he opened up his eyes, okay, he opened his folds, he couldn't see anything. It was empty. To him, it was empty. Just an empty space without any iron pillars, without any screaming ghosts, without anyone being punished. But he was there. So he said, I thought you were taking me to the hell of punishment for those who commit adultery. He asked the little officer who carried his attention. Yes, sir. Here we are. We are right in the middle of it. He looked around. It was empty. That's when he understood. Okay? He understood that it is not that the devil King Yama, created the hell. The King Yama did not create the hell. Okay? But the hell manifested because of the sin of those who committed the adultery. Okay, so this magistrate, he did not commit an adultery. He does not carry that sin. So he could not even see that hell. So bringing this into our daily context, okay? A lot of us, if you were to look at what's going on around us, okay, some people, every single day, okay, they may face with the society, the ugly side of the society, the ugly side of society that talks about money being cheated, or husband and wives committing adultery, and then there's also drug abuse, or anything, the ills of the society, the students, the children not studying, or committing crimes and being sent to juvenile um, uh, rehabs and things like this. But there are also those others whose entire life has never encountered such things. Okay, who has never known anyone around him or her that has adulterous relationship. Never. And there are also those who has never seen anyone or experienced any form of crime. Okay, unto himself, or he himself did not commit any crime. So there is a stark difference. Okay, your karma will actually determine what kind of situations that you are being shown at. Okay, it determines whether your surroundings, your entire environment, is it going to be something that is harmful or something that is peaceful and nice. Okay, like for example, there are people who thrive, right now, corporate people, there are people who thrive in an environment where every single day the meetings are all fighting against each other. There are those who cannot, okay, who cannot just find that the entire environment, okay, the entire aura of the environment is just not right. So they leave the company, they don't stay in the company, and they go to more peaceful companies. But there are those who just thrive in there from ranks to ranks, and then they just hike up in the hierarchy, and they think that it is their own abilities that actually elevated them from a lower position to a high position. But actually, all those things are predestined by their own karma, which they don't understand and they don't know. And I think that it is because they are of high intelligence. Okay, they are fantastic. Oh, such strategy that they actually become high in ranks in such companies. But in reality, right, it is because they have such karma that they are actually in this situation and they are not doing any corrective actions to it. They just dive into it and they think that they must thrive in it, right? And so they thrived. Okay, every day there are arguments, every day there is no peace, and yet they just increase from a lower level and they ascend into a higher level in the management position. And for these people, they will go around telling people that every single day, everywhere, it is war. Everywhere you just have to play politics. Okay, you can't, every single office there is politics. This is what they say. Okay, it's because their karma brought them into that situation and they are deluded, and this is what we call the ignorance of human beings. If let's say human beings are able to get out of such ignorance, then there is no such issues at all. Okay, there'll be a totally different life. There'll be the realization that such things are unhealthy. You look at other people nowadays, they may grow in rank and file, but they also have a lot of illnesses. Okay, the unbalance of their hormones. Okay, the imbalance in the psychology needs. Okay, all the mental anguish, all the sleepless nights. Okay, and then these days you see there are a lot of people who are suffering like cardiac arrest. Okay, at a young age they are overworked. Okay, and in the past short few weeks, okay, about 2 weeks apart, there are teenagers killing the families. Okay, in Malaysia itself, right? One family, the child was with such stress, according to investigations, that the parent had imposed onto him because the mother was teacher. So of course there will be academic pressure on this child who can't take it, and then he murdered his mother and his brother. And another child, just recently, I didn't read the news further on, but I read that he killed his father. Okay? So, what's happening in the society these days? These days, the society is being shaped by the thought that everything is just your own intelligence, your own strengths. You are so powerful, you are so great, right? I don't mind the positive talks, okay? But you have to know and distinguish between what is really your strength and what is actually a karmic situation arising, okay? And how do you maneuver from the karmic situation? That is very important. If you don't know how to maneuver against it, you are actually just swimming in the sea of your own karma without knowing how to get out of it. And this sea is really a long journey. Okay, if you don't know how to get out of it, you will continue swimming in it, and one day you will drown because of exhaustion. Okay, and this exhaustion comes because of your old age, or maybe because you're just at one point you are not careful, but you have also accumulated a lot of enemies along the way. Okay, so there are a lot of things that many people are not aware of, and they are definitely not alert. So if they're not alert, then they think that it is, oh, I am great. That's why I'm able to do all these things. But in the end, they suffer the consequences. Okay, so because of this, our Lord Amitabha Buddha, he has seen all the different Buddha worlds. Okay, remember our past episode, his teacher was showing him all the Buddha worlds, and he had chosen to only have good realms for his world, for his Dharma world, so that nobody suffers. Okay, when nobody suffers, it is a conducive learning environment where people can have peace, people can have joy in learning. Alright, so in his Buddha world, he said there will not be hell. Okay, so another thing, there will not be hungry ghosts. Hungry ghosts are consequences of clinging on. Okay, the greed that you can't let go, right? So when you have that greed, you can't let go. A lot of times when we watch the movies, right, they will tell you, okay, that the ghost was lingering around because there are some wishes that he cannot fulfill, and he wants to fulfill it before he leaves, before he moves on. Okay, this is the kind of lingering. This is the kind of greed. A lot of times when you see people making promises, like for example, in the next life I still want to be with you, that kind of thing. Okay, so for cycles after cycles after cycles, they will continue on in this realm of existence, and they will suffer the same fate. They will keep on suffering this because of that one single vow that they made before they die. Okay, that kind of vow, that kind of wishes that clip, just keeps them within the six realms of existence and no chance of getting out. Okay, so animals, what about animals? Nowadays you say that, oh, animals have a better life than human. Okay, so animals are consequences of ignorance, okay, of that kind of stupidity. Okay, they know that during charity, they do a lot of good charity. Okay, therefore when they become animals, they're humans like people like me. Okay, we take care of our pets really well. We give them excellent food. Some of them are even blessed with staying in excellent homes and things like this, air conditioned pet cage and things like this. Okay, a lot of luxuries. That is because in the past life they have done a lot of merits in charity. So that's why in this life, even though as an animal they live in abundance. Okay, but at the same time, why are they animals? It's because they have that kind of ignorance. They can't differentiate, they did not differentiate between the right and the wrong during their lifetimes. Okay, when they're alive, probably they think that, oh, I have a lot of money, so I will have a lot of consort, I'll have a lot of mistresses. So day after night, day after day, night after night, they'll be thinking about just having sex. Animals always have sex. Okay, in fact, cats, for example, All right, they are born and then they just, when they come to age, they just keep having sex and give birth to children. They mate and then they give birth to a lot of kittens, to a lot of puppies. Okay, all these animals. So it is due to ignorance that they become animal. They end up in the animal kingdom. And nowadays, a lot of people, they love animals more than they love humans. Okay, there is also that danger, right? Because if you love your animal, you have to teach them how to get out of the cycle of samsara. Okay, it's not like, oh, I love them so much. No, not like that. Okay, animals, like some of you, when you watch those clips from China, for example, right? You see the animals at the temple. They know that they are animals in this lifetime because they have been ignorant in the past. So that's why they can play obedience to the Buddha, and then they too set in meditation and they do the practices and whatnot. Okay, so if they can know, why can't you, right? Does it take a long time for you to actually realize that, oh, they are more spiritual than us? They know their faults more than us, right? So in Amitabha's Buddha world, there is no such of these three lower realms of existence: the hell, the hungry ghost, and also no animal kingdom. Okay, because these are all due to unfavorable karma. Okay, these are the consequences of unfavorable karma. So there will be those of womb born, sorry. There will be those that are born in the lotus flowers, but all in all, there will not be animals, hungry ghosts, or hell. So some of you may ask, then why is it that I can actually see the paintings of Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land with birds and, you know, all kinds of beautiful animals out there? Okay, those are not due to the negative karma. Okay, those are actually manifestations by the power of the Amitabha Buddha. Okay, by the powers of our wonderful karma. Okay, they are manifestations of wonderful karma. They are not womb born. They are not egg born. Okay, they are also not water born. Okay, so that's why they are different. They are not from as a consequences of bad karma. Okay, those like the birds, the phoenix, and whatever other animals in Pure Land are manifestations based on the, we call it the will of Amitabha Buddha. Okay, because all these animals, all these manifestations in the entire Pure Land, all of it serve a purpose of sharing the Dharma to the inhabitants there. So when we chant Amitabha, okay, we get transported with the lotus flower, just like a migration, and we are not dead. That's why we do not go through. Okay, when we are transported with the lotus flower, we do not go through that stage where you have to go down to the magistrate and then get judged for what you have done. We don't have to go through all that. Go through all that means that you are dead. Okay, you are not migrated to Pure Land. When you are dead, only you will go through all that judging in court and everything. But because we are transported, we are not dead. Okay, we're just migrating from one body in one Buddha world to Amitabha's Buddha world. That is the stark difference. Okay, we don't die. So if we don't die, there is no judgment. But up there, when we reach Amitabha's Pure Land, we will know all the good and bad that we have done in our past lives since the first um, conception. Okay, since our first existence, then we will realize how stupid we are, how foolish we have been all these years. Okay, all these lifetimes. Okay, for so many lifetimes. So at the same time also, right? Because you will think that, okay, at least Amitabha Buddha, he is able to do that because that is his own Pure Land. But that is his first wish, first vow that came true. His second vow that came through is that any being, from the lower realms of existence, from other Buddha worlds being reborn to his Pure Land, will also no need to carry that burden of the lower realms of existence into Pure Land. Immediately they will become Samya Sambodhi, okay, they will also become enlightened, okay, to a certain extent where they are the Bodhisattvas. They don't need to suffer anymore. Okay, that means if in hell you are able to hear the Amitabha's teaching and you repent and you will yourself, you wish, you put your entire wish to it, saying that I wish I can be reborn to Amitabha's Pure Land with utmost sincerity. And no faking here, because faking it will not happen. You think Amitabha Buddha is stupid? No, 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 no. Okay, so it has to be truly genuine. So the moment you make that kind of vow, okay, Amitabha can see, Amitabha can hear, and if it's a genuine one, you have already planted your lotus seed, and Amitabha will bring your lotus flower to hell to collect you and bring you over to Pure Land, okay, to become a Bodhisattva. Right, this is how powerful his vow is. Okay, so you can see the compassion of Amitabha Buddha expands so vast, so wide. Okay, that it not only encompass within his Buddha world, within our Sakyamuni's Buddha world, but it is spanning across all Buddha worlds. Okay, every single one that his teacher has shown him, and his teacher has shown him all the Buddha worlds. So he extends this invitation to all those, right? So these are the two vows, and they have come true. Okay, otherwise he won't become the Amitabha Buddha that we know of today, and this sutra won't have been born. All right. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about his next vows. Okay. So these two vows, right? These first two vows are of utmost importance because we know it is painful to be in hell. It's painful to be a hungry ghost because the time in hell and the time as a hungry ghost, the lifespan is really long. Okay, our human life is like what, 80 years old, okay, if you're lucky. Okay, but over there it is by the thousands of years old, okay, depending on your sin that you have committed. And it can be from one sin, after you have paid your one sin, you have to pay another sin. So from one hell, you may be jumping to another hell. And by the time you come out from a hell, if you have a chance to become a human again, you are something of, you're going to suffer. Okay, you won't be reborn into a well-to-do family. You will be suffering. Okay, you're in the state of suffering still, even if you become a human. Okay, that is not by the doing of any deities or any Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. That is actually also due to your past karma. Okay, it is a very complex thing, but it is how it works. All right, so we shall meet again in the next episode to continue with the 48 vows. Okay, so see you again next time. Take good care and chant Amitabha. Bye.